Hello everyone, my name is Cole. In today's video we are going to be transforming this Lego Creator Noodle Shop set into a modular building, which is not something we've done before on the channel, and so it should be rather interesting. Now, as you've probably noticed, I haven't posted a video for quite a while, and just because I've been quite busy, but I finally got time to put a video together, and during that time I've just kind of been working on various stuff, so we have a bunch of new car models to post in the future as well and to work on. But yeah, I just thought we would do something different because, you know, I kind of want to mix it up a bit, add a bit more variation to the channel. So yeah, the Noodle Shop. So the set itself is quite a nice set. It is the, I can't remember the set number, nobody really cares about the set number anyway, but basically yeah, it's a nice little Creator 3-in-1 set that builds this like corner mini modular building Noodle Shop. And when I originally saw this when they released it, I thought that would make a cool looking modular building, and eventually I got to doing it myself, as you can see in this video. Although somebody, I think one or two people on Rebrickable have actually made the modular out of this already, and both of them, if I remember correctly, are considerably better than the one I built. So if you actually want to build your own modular version, I highly recommend you go check those out. But yeah, the set itself, it basically, I think it's called Downtown Noodle Shop. Basically, you have this like noodle shop on one side, and you have, I guess, like a very small just like building on the other side. And it's pretty simple, but I think it's a really nice style they have going with it, and basically I just tried to make that bigger into a like modular size building, because as you can see here, it is tiny. I mean, it's a good size for a Lego set, but it's tiny compared to, say, the SVJ right here. Not that this is supposed to be anywhere near 8 wide Speed Champion scale, and also next to the modular buildings it looks quite tiny, as you can see here. So unfortunately you cannot just be like a small building next to the modulars, although I suppose you could get away with that. So it is quite nicely detailed though. I really like all the various layers of detail they have going on here, I guess. They have managed to integrate this quite well without making it look too messy, so I think that's cool. It's just a really nice style, I suppose. So yeah, basically I proceeded to purchase 2 of these for parts, and basically just kind of got to work putting them together and see what I could come up with. So I wasn't planning on going overboard with like techniques or anything, or new techniques I guess, because I just planned to just expand the design that was already there, not really to do anything on my own. Eventually that kind of changed a bit, but yeah. Basically I just started with 2 base plates. I know these are not the right kind of base plate. I should really have a 16x32 base plate, but I don't have one of those, so I just used 2 16x16 half base plate, half road plates. Also, I should point out, I'm going to make this like a 16 wide, a half size wide modular instead of like a full-on 32x32 modular, just because there's no way I'm gonna have to buy like 4 of these sets. I don't know how we're gonna make that big of a noodle shop. So yeah, I figured it would look pretty good like that. So I began by just kind of building up the little like front area. It has this interesting little like dining area out front, so I decided we would definitely move that one, like, or integrate that into the large size one. I also added a front door. So I began by just kind of adding a little, basically like floor there, and then some little benches or chairs or whatever. And it was looking pretty good. And we have these lanterns on the outside as well, and I was quite happy with how it looked at this point. Then I began kind of building up the walls a bit. Now admittedly, I do not have a ton of experience with modular buildings, so I figured for this one I would just attempt to make the front first, and then just kind of fill in the rear whatever was left, whatever parts I had left. And so yeah, going along here we have this kind of blue roof overhang thing. Again, I'm not entirely sure, there's probably a better word for that, but it looks really cool, and I just copied this directly from the set. Then I added some windows on top of that, and a kind of, I don't know, shade thing I guess over that, with these interesting new like inverted curved slopes, which are really cool. And then I attempted to work on a sign, basically an expansion of the sign that was on the side of the official set. And so I attempted to basically build that sign twice and then stick both sides together, which got me this sign, which I thought looks pretty cool, except that it's really wide. And so we're going to work on that in a bit. But right now I just stuck that really wide version on there, and then we're going to work on the second level. So as you can see, we already basically have the second level formed with that like blue roof and the windows and then the shade above it. So now we're going to work on the third level, and that went by really quickly, didn't it? Basically some of this fancy looking trim on the outside, and then some walls, these little windows with flower boxes, and then it's nothing too complicated. So eventually we got to this design, which I think looked good, but it almost looked a bit too detail heavy, and so I asked on the internet for some feedback from various people, and most of them said to just basically make the building a little bit taller, because compared to other modular buildings it was actually pretty short, and also you can see in a lot of places the detail is just kind of too crammed together. So I proceeded to take it apart a bit and then basically add more height and a bit more, just I guess around the top, some more detail, and then on the top levels just some more space between all the details. And eventually it took quite a few versions, but eventually I got something I was happy with, and so I was quite happy with how it looked, actually, especially considering I had no experience in a modular building. But yeah, we had this kind of design with these I don't know what I have no idea. I'm not an architecture expert. We have these like white stripes, and then not stripes, but yeah, these white things going up through the bottom of it. You have the flower boxes, which I think look really cool, and you have the center window kind of inset, I guess, into the wall of the building, and the two other windows sticking out. So now that we had that kind of done, I used the roof design from the official set as well, just kind of just wider basically. So then now that we had that done, I decided to work on the front of it. So my original idea to kind of make the sidewalk look a bit more interesting was to put some sort of like enclosed area around this eating area. So I figured maybe we'll try out these brown like 3 tall bricks, if that makes sense. And so I tried putting those there, and I think those look pretty good, but they were a bit big, and so eventually I swapped those out for some round bricks, but I just left those there for now. It's just as kind of like a placeholder, and while we made something better. And then we kind of had the whole front of the building finished. So then I had the idea that to add like another outdoor kind of dining area right next to the street or on the sidewalk, so I thought that could be cool. So I moved the whole building back by a couple studs, and then I attempted to make a table and basically use those kind of like barricades, I guess, those 1x1 round brick stacks with the gold clip piece on top to form kind of like make it a bit more enclosed. I thought that looked really cool. So eventually I added on some walls and things because, you know, if we just had this front, that would look kind of weird. Now eventually I realized that I would have nowhere near enough pieces to make a full-on building, so I decided just to basically make like basically the front of the building and then just kind of enclose the rear of it so that way no extra light would get in. So basically just added a lot of panels and plates around the back, as you can see here, and eventually we had a reasonably good looking building from the front. From any other side it looks pretty bad, but yeah, that's all you're going to see is the front in this case, so that's fine. Then I worked on adding an interior to the lower level, not that it really needs a low interior, but basically because you can see in from that outdoor dining area, I needed to add some detail so that way it didn't look like it was completely empty on the inside. So as you can see, I added some various stuff. Most of this is just copied from the official set. We have some various like kitchen stuff and nothing too fancy, just, you know, general, I don't know, kitchen appliances and things. And with that, the building is basically done. Now this video is a lot quicker than I expected it to be, but I guess there's honestly not that much more to talk about because it's not an insane build. It's relatively simple. So as you can see here, we have some minifigures around it. Like I said, there's no interior on the upper 2 floors, only on the lower floor, and even then it's not intended to open up like a modular, so it just kind of sits there. And that's fine with me. Like I said, it's basically just going to sit up on my shelf with my other modular buildings, which I never like open or anything. So yeah, this works perfectly for me. Like I said, the other modular versions on Rebrickle will probably be better if you want to open it up and all that. And yeah, I guess we'll just show some various shots of the building so you guys can see what it looks like. Here it is up on my shelf with my other modular buildings. I think it fits in quite nicely. Interestingly, it is the second of that modular building that I now have in that kind of weird light nougat color, I think it's called. I don't know, that really kind of strange tan-ish color. I don't know what you would call it. But I think it looks pretty cool. The other building being the boutique hotel, which I have not finished yet, or finished building yet. And I guess that's it for this video, so I'll show a couple more shots here of how it looks so you guys can kind of take it all in, I guess, if you want to. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this slightly different project. I definitely would like to do more like it in the future, so maybe we'll do some more modular buildings or something. I would like to get some lights for the inside of it at some point, but that will mean lighting up all of the modular buildings, because one lit up will look a bit strange, I think, so it probably won't be for a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. If you guys have any more ideas for videos like this, please let me know. We will be back to car building as well. We're not like completely going to stop building cars or anything, but yeah, I figured, you know, I kind of want to do something different for once, and not just for once actually, probably quite a few more times in the future. But yeah, I guess that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I will see you next time.
So, hi, Noodle. Not talking.